Hello and welcome back to our day 3 of Prosperity Mindset Masterclass. So today we are on the last day of our 3-day workshop and we are having 2 sessions today. So right now we're having Q&As dedicated especially to your questions. So thank you so much for those of you who have contacted me and for your questions. And also, we've gathered all the questions from the past few sessions of our masterclass and we put them together. There were a lot of questions that were repeating over and over again. So we've just chose one out of the same topic questions, and that's what we're going to address today. Once again, just a quick reminder where we are right now and if you are joining us for the first time today, what you can do to catch up with all the replays. So for those of you who have been with us since the beginning, I do truly believe that you've enjoyed the masterclass in a big way. We've received such an incredible feedback. So thank you so much for all the kind and warm words from all of you. For those of us who are joining us for the first time today, I wanted to let you know that you have 10 days to watch the replays. So we are on the day 3, so entire week. Next week, we're going to have replays available in our private Facebook group, which you can join today and you can watch replays for as many times as you wish. Also, we are available on YouTube. So if you're not on Facebook, you can go onto YouTube and we'll post a link onto our YouTube videos under this video. And for those of you who are in our private Facebook group, you have the chance to participate live today and ask me any questions during this session. So we're going to start off from these questions I've got ready today. But by the time we wrap everything up, I'm going to double check the chat and make sure that we have not missed any questions. So for those of you who have been with us since the beginning, you know the drill. Please do say hello in the chat box. Let us know where you are joining us from, because we have such an international community. And just to give you some heads up when it comes to certain visions in your life and certain goals. When I started my business 6 years ago, one of my goals and one of my vision was to have international business. I had a desire to be connected with people all over the world, to be connected with like-minded people from every continent. And that desire had become true very quickly. Within 3 months of starting my business, without previous business experience, without business plan, with my mindset set for success, I had created an international business. So what you dream about, what you truly desire, what your heart truly desires is already yours. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. That's done by the law. The laws of the universe govern this universe, and you are a huge part of it. Because energy, that's all there is, and you are the source of energy. So whatever you send out through your feelings, so through your emotions and through your words, you send it out to this quantum field, and the quantum field is working for you, and it wants you to make you happy, and it wants you to have everything you desire. But the only way to communicate with that quantum field, with the higher power, with God, as some of you may believe, and with higher intelligence, is not just through the words, even though words are energy, but the huge connection and the way to communicate is through your emotions. That's why the understanding of your emotional mind is crucial, how it works and how the law of attraction works as well. For those of you who have been with us since the beginning, we talked about the laws of the universe, and we did mention that the law of attraction, as important as it is, and probably many people know about the law of attraction since The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, the law of attraction is not the primary law. That's why, even though there's so many believers in that law, there are a lot of people who are confused as well, because they say, well, I believe in that law, the law of attraction, and you get whatever you want. And the law of attraction says, ask, and you're going to be receiving it. But it's not the primary law. Once again, the primary law is the law of vibration, and vibration is another word for your emotions. So right now, as you're here watching us as live, hello, it's great to have you guys with us. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm just checking the chat box. Hello, Magdalena. Hello, Nicole. Great to have you with us. Hello, Nosi. Absolutely wonderful to have you with us. Thank you so much for joining live. And right now, if you're watching us live, send us an emoji in the chat box of how are you feeling right now. And for those of you who are watching us as a replay, please do say hello and hashtag replay, and also let us know how are you feeling right now. So express it with an emoji, because it's very important to be aware of your feelings, because you attract what you are, and what you are right now is what you are feeling. This is the law of vibration, the primary law. We're going to elaborate on that a little bit today during our Q&As, and I want to share with you with a very important diagram which will help you to understand the law of vibration. This will also help you to understand where you are on that diagram. So I'm going to show you different emotions, and I'm also going to show you how these emotions reflect when it comes to the law of vibration, so you can then see if you are attracting the good or if you are attracting the not so good. So let's begin with the questions, the ones that we've got here ready. And one of the questions that kept coming up is, how can I change my habits, and how can I change my habitual thinking? There are also lots of questions of similar nature, as how paradigms can be changed. So this is sort of the same question when it comes to paradigms, habits, your belief system, and also your self-image. So it's the same category. If you've asked the question about how can you change your self-image, how can you shift your self-image, and how can you change your paradigms or your inner self-talk, this is the answer for you. First of all, just a quick reminder that the paradigm, each and one of you has paradigms, and paradigms is the multitude of habits, belief systems, and your inner self-image. So paradigm is not just one habit or one belief system or one belief, it's multitude of those habits, multitude of beliefs, and your inner self-image. Now, paradigms are not always bad, because sometimes we may think, oh my gosh, those paradigms are holding me back. This paradigm, I need to shift my paradigm. But in your paradigm, you have certain habits you operate with. The paradigms are in your subconscious mind. And as you may remember the stick person from a few sessions ago, your subconscious mind is 96% of your mind. So do you remember that stick person with a big circle divided in half? That is your mind. And the two parts of your mind which we were discussing during this masterclass were your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. Now, please do understand and bear in mind that even though that picture was showing the 50-50 split, the truth is that your conscious mind is 4% of your mind. The subconscious mind, which I call the powerhouse, is 96% of your mind. So when you consciously want to do something, so your conscious mind is your thinking mind right now, you can choose any thought you desire. Literally, any thought you desire, you can choose. Now, the next step is very important. If you're going to accept this thought as the truth, or think that thought is ridiculous, it's down to your paradigm, your subconscious programming. And that subconscious programming, that powerhouse, the 96% of your mind, has been created very long time ago. That subconscious mind was wide open when you were born. And every baby is born with 99% potential of a genius. Every single baby, no exception. So that subconscious mind is wide open, and everything that you're surrounded with, the opinions, the beliefs, everything that you're exposed to gets into your subconscious mind, and it forms your logic. It forms your logic. So just one of the quick examples I gave you some time ago was that if you grew up believing that in order for you to earn a lot of money, you have to be working hard, that is one of the beliefs you hold as a part of your paradigm. And going through your adult life, you're going to be operating with that belief that in order for you to earn a lot of money, or in order for you to become financially free, you have to be working hard. That's why many people really work hard and they say, well, I need to increase my income. So what do I have to do? I have to study because the education is the only way forward. The formal education, I have to get another degree, I have to get a master, I have to get another qualification, or I have to work harder. That's one of the beliefs. So this logic that had been created long time ago will literally control your decision making process. So when it comes to money, we'll talk about it tonight. So in a few hours, we're going to have our last session, and it's dedicated to money. So we will elaborate on that particular topic more. But when it comes to your paradigms now, how do you shift it? We know that they've been formed a long time ago. So when you were born and your subconscious mind is wide open until the age of 6 or 7 is wide open, everything that you're exposed to through your environment, through your parents, through your family, friends, through the school, through your religion, perhaps, everything that you are exposed to gets into your subconscious mind, and that forms your logic. Now, your conscious mind is your thinking mind and your educated mind. So let's say that today, consciously, you say, I want to change my life and I want to double my income, for example, or I want to lose some weight. So now, if I said to you that you don't have to work any harder to double, triple, quadruple your income, you do not have to work any harder. And some of you may say, oh, yes, I know, you have to work smarter. But what does it really mean? Not many people can elaborate on that as well. But hard work and honesty itself will not bring you riches. This is what Napoleon Hill says. So if I said to you, don't have to work any harder, this is an idea. This is an idea that money comes not from hard work, but from the way you think. The way you think. Now, depends on what is in your subconscious mind. You're either going to accept this idea and say, okay, I believe this, I don't have to work hard. And there are so many people I know, and I've known for a long time, who don't work hard, who work about 4 or 5 hours a day, and they create about $25,000 per week. So there are lots of people who don't work hard, but that's a belief that they accepted long time ago because they have created that paradigm that hard work doesn't bring you riches. On the other hand, if your paradigm tells you, if your belief tells you that in order for you to get a lot of money, you have to work hard, when I say to you, you don't have to work hard, you're going to reject that idea with your educated mind, with your conscious mind, with your thinking mind, because that thinking mind is a gatekeeper and it rejects any idea that is not in harmony with your belief system. So I really want you to think about it. Whatever idea comes your way, you either accept it with your conscious mind, with your logical mind, with your educated mind, you either accept it or you reject it. You accept it if it's in harmony with your belief system, your paradigm, which has been formed a long time ago, or you reject it if it's in conflict with your subconscious mind. You can see the beautiful light behind me. So I'm like in a glory right now. This is great for this. So whatever I'm saying, the spirit and the energy is with me. So trust me on that. So now when it comes to any other beliefs, and everything we talked about in this workshop, and we're going to continue later on, is sometimes very illogical. Very illogical. Because when I started my business about 6 years ago, 7 years ago, and I've also had a degree of business management. So about 10 years ago, I've done a degree in business management. And in my school, during my education, higher education at the university, I was taught how to set up your own business. So I went through marketing, law, business economy, economics, and all that stuff. So every single school and every single topic I've done said you have to have a business plan. You have to know exactly where is your money coming from. You have to have a budget. You have to have a capital, all of that stuff. For those of you who are business owners or maybe studied business, you probably can relate to this. However, what happened 7 years ago, I did something very illogical. I had quit my job and I had opened my business without any capital, without any business plan, without a business website, without business cards, nothing. But what I did have back then was my mind set for success, because back then I've been studying with my mentor one on one for about 4 or 5 months. And during that time, I had shifted some of my beliefs and some of my self image and some of my habits, so the way I was doing things every single day, tremendously. And that shift, that change of my paradigm, the change of my thinking had helped me to open up a very successful business, which I literally had no idea how to speak to a prospect. I was petrified. I was afraid to speak in public. I couldn't say a sentence that would make a sense in front of two or more people. So the paradigms I had back then were just beyond belief. You wouldn't even believe I was the same person. But I still went into that business because of my mindset. I followed what my mentor said, and he said it's all energy, it's all your thoughts. It's not about what do you know. It's not about how many education you have, how many degrees you hold. It's not about that business plan that they teach us to have. It's not about the capital, because many people say you can't open a business if you have no money to invest, or you can't quit your job if you have no savings. And I did exactly that. I did the opposite to what a logic would say to majority of people. And within the first month, so first 4 to 6 weeks, I had replaced my corporate income. And 3 to 4 months later, I had doubled my corporate income. This had not happened by accident. This had not happened because I was some super intelligent person or super smart. No, this happened by design, because I understood the laws of the universe. I've understood back then, it was still very beginning of my journey. I understood that what I think about, I create. How I feel, that's what I attract. And I was working on that on a daily basis, few times a day. And I made sure that my thoughts were aligned with my goal, that the way I felt about myself and my business was attracting what I wanted to achieve. Those two things were crucial to my success. And now, an average person, and I would say an average person who doesn't understand themselves, who doesn't understand the power of the mind, who doesn't understand that the thoughts are energy, who doesn't have that awareness expanded yet, that your emotions literally attract what's in harmony with your emotions, that person will go into a business and will be worrying where my client's going to come, will go into a business and will not start speaking out or prospecting or talking to people, but a lot of people hide behind the computer, working on a business plan, working on the website, working on that. And I know so many business owners, absolutely brilliant, very smart, highly educated people who had started their business because they had that idea. They wanted to have a business for so many reasons. Yet again, they were hiding behind computer for months and months and months. They've never, if they were a coach, and I know new people like that as well, they've never set up a seminar because they were preparing for that seminar for months and months and months. They never went out to a client or to a prospect because they didn't have a business card, they didn't have a website. So they were just waiting in that fear of I'm not ready, I need to be ready. And that is what holds many people back, those negative beliefs about themselves, the lack of belief, and the preparation that many of us are trained to believe you have to have, like a business plan. And once again, I'm going to say it again. Lots of things that we teach here, also in our Thinking into Results mentorship program, is very illogical at first. It's very illogical at first because you're going to be doing things that make absolutely no sense at the beginning because it's the opposite to what you are programmed with. But if you want to change your life dramatically, if you want to quadruple your income, multiply your income, if you want to have more time for yourself or your loved ones, you need to be shifting your way of thinking. You need to be shifting your habits. You need to be shifting your image, your self image, where your confidence also resides. So you have to be working on you rather than that business strategy, the business plan. Why? Because your mindset creates 95% of your success. So your success is coming from your mindset 95% of the time. 5% comes from your strategy. So if you have a great strategy, if you're investing a lot in a business strategy, yes, that might work. However, if your mindset is not set for success, no matter how brilliant your strategy is, no matter how much money you've invested in it, even though it's a proven strategy, if your mindset is not for that set for that success, you will sabotage your success at work and with your business. And that is how it works. I'll explain that in a few seconds a little bit more. So how do you change it? How do you shift it? How do you shift your beliefs? How do you shift your mindset and your self-image? The only one question is through studies. Through studies of who you are and what you are. So paradigms can be changed only in two ways. Two ways. So paradigm, your multitude of habits and beliefs, can be changed only in two ways. One, the first way is an emotional shock. So emotional shock is like, boom, something bad really happens. Usually it's negative. Something bad really happens and your belief system can be changed like this. It's very quick, but it's very negative. So usually from that negative experience, usually people change their belief system in a negative way. So it's not really good for you, and it doesn't happen often as well. But that's an emotional shock, and an emotional shock can change your belief system instantly. It can. So, for example, just to give you an idea of what else may happen in that negative shock, for example, somebody wanted to go on a diet for years and years, or maybe they wanted to change their lifestyle when it comes to eating, and they were going up and down, and then bang, something happens. They found out they have cancer. That's a negative shock. That's a huge shock, and that person wants to save themselves. They are fighting for life, so they'll change their habits like that. They will. But like I said, usually it's negative shock. It's a negative experience. So but that can change your emotions instantly. Now, the second way that I would highly recommend, rather than waiting for that negative shock, is through repetition of the information that change your subconscious mind. So as a repetition of the same information that reprogram your limiting beliefs, your limiting habits, and the self-image that does not serve you. And that is exactly what we do in our mentorship program. It's not just to give you the information, not just to give you the book, because you've got access to loads of books. You can go online and get any books you want for free, majority of them. So it's not just about giving you the information, because information right now is highly available everywhere, but it's about certain process of studying. And this is something I repeat over and over again, especially during our book club that we have also every Monday in this group. That is not about reading the book. It's not about that I read this book and I read 12 books a year. Great. I must be so smart. It's not about that, because I want you to understand and remember. And the quicker you understand this and remember, the quicker you can move forward. Is that when you read books, when you study, when you go to a university, which is just a very old way of studies, is you read something, you pass an exam, and we are raised to believe that if we pass an exam, we know the answers to that question. We know the things, we know the information, we know it, we got it, we know it. And that's how we finish our education system. We get degrees and we think, well, now my job is done. I've done my bit, I've studied, I've got a few degrees, and I'm done. But that's not how it works. With your conscious mind and with your educated mind, when you gather information, yes, you remember it for a short period of time, but that is not what guarantees that you will change your behavior. So, for someone to be highly educated, it does not guarantee that they are highly productive as well. So that's how the system sometimes, unfortunately, is broken, because lots of companies hire people based on their degrees, based on how many degrees they have, what university you've graduated from. But that knowledge does not guarantee that the person will do their job properly. That education will not guarantee that the person is effective, highly effective, or highly, or uses the creative mind to solve the problems, or highly productive, because productivity, effectiveness, and creative thinking has nothing to do with the level of our education. Unfortunately, that's the truth. But it's also, this might be very illogical to you right now, because maybe you grew up believing, just like I did, that in order for you to get to have a happy, wealthy, happy life, you have to be highly educated. So we live our life believing that's the answer, that's the secret. And I've met so many people who want to change their life, they want to earn more money, and instead of studying themselves, instead of saying, hey, what do I need to change within myself? Because I am the extension of my business, I am the source of my income. Nobody speaks like that. What happens with majority people is that if they say, I want to earn more money, well, I better get another degree, or I better get a degree, or I better change my jobs because it's my company that doesn't pay me enough. But it's not your company that doesn't pay you enough. It's you who does not know, sometimes, not always, your worth. So sometimes you are not even asking for that pay rise. It's you who perhaps sometimes sits in that company for 5, 10, 15 years without any growth. So it's really lack of that confidence, lack of that awareness, lack of that self-worth to move you forward. The money doesn't come from your employer, it comes through your employer, but it's by your choice. And I know sometimes people may think it's absolutely logical what you're saying, Alex. It makes no sense, because if I have this degree, that's what I can earn. But once again, guys, we'll talk about it in detail tonight in a few hours. But please do understand that the money is energy. What you earn is what you are programmed with, and that's the worth you give yourself. And I'll tell you my story about money later on tonight, that I have not changed anything when it comes to my education level, and my income has multiplied. So that's why I'll prove to you that there's nothing to do with your level of education. So now, when we've talked about paradigms and shifting paradigms, it's about the repetition of certain information. So it's not about reading a book, but it's about studying that book. It's about reading the paragraph and asking yourself how this impacts my life. Where am I when it comes to this law, for example, or this tip? Where am I when it comes to this? How do I behave during the day? How do I spend my days? What am I busy with? What are my habits? This is something to be asked, for you to ask yourself when you read any transformational book, to not only study it, over and over again, but to apply those principles into your daily routine. And the application of those principles from any book that you read, that application requires you some sacrifice, requires you to change, requires you to think differently. And that, in most cases, is not easy, because change is not easy. That's why in Thinking into Results, we not only give you the information that is put together from by my mentor from 60 plus years of his experience, and he has worked with the best people on human potential and growth, because he has worked with Earl Nightingale, and Earl Nightingale is the dean of personal growth and development. In 1950s, he was the founder of personal growth and development industry. And my mentor, Bob Proctor, had worked with him shoulder by shoulder for 5 years. And I had been taught by Bob Proctor one-on-one for many, many years. So the knowledge you get, the information you receive is one of the best, if not the best, out there. And once again, it's not just about the information, but it's about the process you study it with. So what you do, or what you have to do, you have to be listening to this information every single day. That is the process that we teach you with. That is the process that we hold you accountable to. And that's why when it comes to the change of your belief system, when it comes to the shifting your paradigm, it is done through studies, but it is done through a process, a scientific process, and it's done through repetition. Repetition. Okay? Really important. And please try to remember this. If you want to change your life, whatever route you choose, you may choose to work with me and my team and our group, which would be absolutely wonderful. And I look forward to have you with us. But you may choose to do something else. But if you're choosing to do something else, pay attention to what you are investing, because sometimes people go for a cheaper option. But you have to remember, cheaper is not always better, because even though you might be given the information you're given is also valuable, but it's about the system. It's about the support. It's about the guidance. It's about having that support on a daily basis. And that is crucial, because change is not easy. That's why so many people will be giving up on their New Year's resolutions anytime right now. Anytime right now. We are now 2.5 weeks into the New Year's Eve, the new year. And I bet by the end of this month, 75% of people will give up on their New Year's resolution. That's how it works. Maybe you're one of them who has come up with New Year's resolution this year. Maybe you know some friends or family, but watch them. Watch them. Usually within the first 3 to 4 weeks, 75% of people give up on that. Why? Because change is not easy. But when you have that support, when you have someone that leads you through it, supports you, helps you with it, then that change is nearly guaranteed. So now the next question we had, how a person can become fearless. So this is when we talked about fear. And fear, as you may remember from our previous session, fear is a very negative emotion, and fear is very destructive. So how the person become fearless? First of all, you study and understand what fear is. Fear is not only a negative emotion, which is very destroying, as we talked about it already in our session with Nicole. So that was yesterday at 12 p.m. UK. So you can go back to that session. But fear also is a part of growth. So fear can be paralyzing. When you allow the fear to control you, fear will literally stop you from growing. So fear will stop you from going after what you truly desire. Fear, if you're fearful of something, then you attract that. That's how it works, okay? So fear being a very low negative vibration. Also, fear is internalized, because you're fearful when it's already you're emotionally attached to something, and that fear is expressed through your body, and because it's a negative emotion, it's expressed as anxiety. That's how fear works. On the other hand, when you start understanding fear more and more and more, as Nicole said, as you may remember from yesterday, fear is all in our mind. It's made up in our mind. Unless it's a physical danger, obviously, like sometimes we're fearful when we are walking on the cliff, on the edge of the cliff. Yes, I mean, fear is going to kick in that you fall. That's a physical danger. So let's not get confused, okay? Physical danger, yes, fear is going to save you because you're going to hold on to whatever you're holding on to. But other than that, if you're sitting comfortably in your home, or if you're going out there and you're trying to prospect for your clients and fear kicks in, that is a made up fear. That's a mental state. And that fear is kicking it because you are probably worrying about rejection, because you're worrying about failure, because the worry comes in. So worry and doubt is in your conscious mind, as you may remember. And when you worry and you overthink that worry, that gets into your subconscious mind through repetition. So everything happens through repetition. So let's say you repeatedly worrying about something. So you worrying that you may fail, that you worry about your future, you worry about your money. And that worry, which is repeated, gets internalized. And that creates fear. That fear not only destroys your body, but it also paralyzes your action. So when it comes to fear, fear and growth go hand in hand. So fear is a part of growth. So now you will remember that whatever you feared of, then that's a part of your growth. That's very important to remember, okay? And when you understand that fear, and when you understand that when you're about to do something different, when you're about to do something out of your comfort zone, fear kicks in. That's how it works. Fear kicks in because sometimes you hesitate, because sometimes you overthink, and sometimes you're worrying. But when you understand what fear is, you will welcome it, you will accept it, you will say, that's fine, fear is present, it's okay, I'm just about to do something I've never done before. Fear will never leave you as long as you keep growing, as long as you're facing out of the comfort zone situations. Fear will be present. But because you understand what fear is, you'll say, hello, fear. I know you're a part of it. I know you're my companion. It's all right. I'm just going to push through this. And it's not as scary as I had thought it was. So fear is a part of growth. How do I become fearless? You may remember Jackie saying this yesterday in our decision-making process session, when she said, when you practice something over and over again, you become comfortable with this. And that's how it works. When you practice feel the fear and do it anyway, a famous saying, you become comfortable feeling the fear, knowing it's a part of your growth, and pushing through it. And that is the key. That's how you become fearless. Fear never leaves you, but you are comfortable with it and you push through it because you know the feeling. And that's a part of your growth. So you grew a lot when you can do something, knowing the feeling, and you push through it. It's the same when it comes to speakers who go on stage quite often. And I remember some of the speakers said that they look very comfortable. They look very confident. And they were asked, are you not afraid from going in public? And probably you've done it so often that you're no longer afraid. And they always say, and I can relate to this, no matter how many times you've done it, you'll still feel that fear. You'll still feel it. And if I have a change of my audience, if I go to an event I've never done before, there is always that sensation in my stomach, always. But I know this now. I know this. I'm comfortable with it. I know it's a part of my growth. I know it's my companion. It's okay. And I'm comfortable with it rather than letting it to control me and pull me back into my comfort zone and sabotage my success. Because that's what happens in majority of cases when people allow that fear to control their decisions, to control their actions. They're being pulled into comfort zone and then they do not move forward. So now, how do we develop faith? So that's another question that was coming up quite a lot. Faith and fear is the same, as Nicole said yesterday, and I really liked it. Both of them are invisible. Both of them are invisible. When you're fearful of something, you don't know what you're fearful of because you can't see it, but you're just making it up in your mind that you're fearful of potential danger, of potential failure, of potential loss of some money, perhaps, or you're fearful of being laughed at. It's made up, it's not real. You're creating it in your head, but we sometimes let it to control us. Now, on the other hand, is faith. So fear happens when we have no understanding on what's going on, and that's the ignorance. That's the ignorance. You don't understand yourself. You have no idea what's going on, so you're letting control it. Now, when you develop that understanding through studies, when you develop that understanding that fear is a part of growth and you're comfortable with it, you develop faith in yourself and your abilities. And that faith is also invisible because you're going after what you truly desire. It's invisible, you can't see it, but you have faith because you've developed that faith in you, the faith in the process. You know how you work, you know how the law of vibration works, you know that that's exactly what I did. With my faith, I've developed over the studies 7 years ago. I entered my business. So I quit my job with faith and I open up my business having that faith that if I only do what my mentor tells me to do, I just have to follow his direction, I'm going to make it successful. And that's all I did. And I gotta tell you guys, I was clumsy at the beginning. I was petrified. I couldn't even talk, even when I was like approaching businesses and telling them about my coaching services. I often mumbled because I was so scared. So I had no ability to communicate the way I do now. Nowhere near at all. But I remember when my mentor used to say, just stick with it, be persistent, and persistence pays off. And every single day I did it for 4 to 6 weeks. And that's how I replaced my income very quickly, very quickly. So that's what you have to do. You have to have the faith in the process because you've studied enough about yourself, about your thoughts, about the energy, about the laws of vibration, and that will push you going forward. Now, I would like to also share something with you, that diagram that will help you to understand where you are when it comes to your vibrations. Because the law of vibration is the primary law. And if anything, I want you to really have that understanding. How are you vibrating right now? Right now. So I'm going to show you where you are on a scale from 0 to 600, where you are right now. So bear with me. And before I pull out the diagram, I would like you to just ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? What would you describe your emotions right now? So you say, I'm sad, or I'm worried, I feel guilt, I feel shame. Or you could say that I'm very joyful, I feel like I'm in love with my life, with myself, with my purpose, whatever it is. I feel that I'm very happy, whatever it is right now. Just, I want you to really close your eyes for 20 seconds before I have the screen ready and ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? And I'm going to show you where you are on this diagram. Okay, so I believe everyone can see this now. And this is the Alpha Omega cone. And right now, as you can see, there are emotions. On the left-hand side, you can see emotions. And then on the right-hand side, you can see what is going on within ourselves when it comes to those emotions. So either you're contracted or you're expanded. So your awareness is either contracted or expanded because of your emotions. So some of you are already saying, I'm very joyful, which is really fantastic. So this is great to see. So please do share with us as well. How are you feeling right now? I would love to know. So Magdalena says, I'm joyful. Excellent. So let us know, how are you feeling right now? If you are experiencing any of the negative emotions, please do share with us as well, because I can help you right now, as I can see the answer, how to shift it. Okay, so we still have a few minutes to go today. So I'd like to help you to shift any negative emotions. So now, as you may remember me saying, that the law of vibration is the primary law of the universe. Primary law of the universe. And you are vibrating all the time. Right now, you're vibrating at a certain frequency. That frequency that you're vibrating on right now determines what you are attracting to yourself right now. So whatever happens to you later on today, whatever happens to you tomorrow, whatever happens to you the day after and the next week, is determined by what vibration you send out to the universe. Because the law of vibration, being the primary law, dictates the law of attraction. And the law of attraction says you attract everything that you are in harmony with. So if you are angry, at yourself perhaps, or at someone else because someone else has upset you, maybe they've upset you this morning, maybe they've upset you a few days ago and you're still angry with them. Look at this diagram. Anger has 150 on a scale of 700 plus, 700 being enlightenment, so in a very high vibration, 700. And if you just look at the right hand side quickly, your awareness is expanded at the level of 350 plus. So above the 350 plus, this is where you are attracting to yourself everything that you desire with control. Okay? With control. So sometimes it happens subconsciously, sometimes it happens with that expanded awareness. Okay? So now 350, this is when you literally attract to yourself things like that. You say, I want to double my income or triple my income. And because you're in such a high vibration, you communicate this to the universe very quickly, and boom, an idea comes in of how you can do it. That's how it works. An idea comes into your mind. And then you think, oh, how about that? And that's how it works. Very simple. It's really simple when we understand it. If we don't have that awareness expanded, it could be confusing. It could be frustrating. It could be a really destroying, very destroying. So 350 plus, this is the vibration. This is the frequency of attracting the very good to yourself. Anything below the 200 is a very negative energy. So it's a very negative frequency. So frequencies of 200 and under are very destroying. Destroying to yourself, your mental well-being, destroying to your body. So if you often get ill, it's because you're vibrating very low. So there are some people who get ill all the time. They always have a cold, they have some sort of flu, they have some sort of whatever happens, they're just not well because of the way they vibrate. That's how it is. Your body is an instrument and you're vibrating, and your body has the capacity to heal itself fully recover. And I've actually know few people personally who healed themselves of cancer, who healed themselves of brain tumor naturally through the use of their mind. So the vibration can be a very healing vibration only if it's above the 350 plus, or can be a very destroying vibration, the vibration that leads on to disease if it's below 200. So now my first question, if you're feeling anger, so if you're angry with someone for whatever reason, they might have upset you, they might have been really nasty to you, and you have a reason to be angry. But if you hold that anger, Basically, 150 frequency, it's a very negative frequency. So if you hold that anger for long enough, you're actually destroying your well-being. With time, you might get headaches. With time, you might get some colds. You might have some viruses coming to you because your body is not in a healing process. It's operating on a very low frequency. A lot of people also live their life with shame and guilt. So they're guilty. A lot of people that I speak to sometimes, and we talk about how they could shift their life, they feel guilty about earning more money because they say, well, I don't deserve to earn more money. Some people live in that very low frequency. So think about it. If you live with guilt for whatever reason, then your frequency is extremely low. So you're better shift it, because otherwise that will be expressed in anxiety, in depression, and then disease. That's how it works. Fear, desire, anger, pride. So all of these is very negative. Now, courage. When you have a courage to act, that is the beginning of the light at the end of the tunnel, literally. That is the beginning of the end of the tunnel, okay? So when you have the courage to act on your desires and goal, this is when your vibration starts shifting quickly. Being neutral is better than being angry, okay? Although I want to just point out that sometimes anger could be a good state, because if you understand, or if you can turn that anger into action, this is actually better than being in that state of, I don't know what I want. I don't feel angry, but I don't feel happy, and I'm not really happy with my life, but I don't know what to do with my life. So you're kind of living there like a vegetable, and you're not angry, you're not happy, nothing happens. So it's stagnation. So actually, for some people, being angry for that very short period of time, and I'm not saying to hold that anger all the time because it's destroying, but for a short period of time, being angry because somebody said something nasty to you, or something happened that you were not happy with and you got angry, that anger, if you can control that anger, you can turn into action. And there's many people who say, I'm going to prove you wrong. Even though you said to me, I can't make it happen, I'm going to prove you wrong. And they turn that anger into action. So that's the only way to use that emotion, that negative emotion, in your favor. But that has to be a quick shift. Because if you're doing something with anger, then whatever you're creating, you're not going to be living that life of peace, joy, or love, because you were creating that whole process. Even if you become rich, even if you multiplied your income by 10 times, because you were acting from anger, once you get there, once you are even multimillionaire, but you did it with anger, you will not have that peace, joy, and love, because you are acting from a negative vibration. So that's why so many people might be rich, for example, wealthy, and they might not be happy. They might not be happy. And then we say, well, money doesn't bring you happiness, right? Because you see a person who is wealthy, but they're miserable. So then you create that negative emotion in you and say, well, obviously this person is wealthy and they look miserable, so money doesn't bring you happiness. This is not true. This is not true. It's nothing to do with money. Money is energy. It's how you had created that wealth. Were you acting from a higher purpose, from love, from helping others, from the purpose of helping others, from the purpose of loving what you do so you can help others? If you create that money from that purpose, when you get there, you're going to be happy, joyful, and you will have peaceful mind. But if you created that money, for example, from a negative energy, then obviously even when you have it, you will not have that moment. So I'm just going to read a few questions. There are a few questions here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to answer those questions after this session, okay? Because we're about to wrap up in a couple of minutes. So please do ask me questions right now for the next couple of minutes. I'm just going to wrap up quickly. And right after this session, I'm going to go back to the chat box and I'll answer every single question, because there are really good questions here about optimism, about the desire on the scale, which is a very good question because I've had that question myself some time ago. So please do stay and come back to those answers, because I'm going to come back to you very shortly, okay? But if you do have any questions about how you're feeling right now and what to do to shift it, please ask me that question within the next 2 minutes. So now what I would like you to do is, with that knowledge and with that diagram, I really want you to be aware of your emotions, be aware of where you are at that scale. Because if you are really desiring to change your life, if you really have a desire to shift anything in your life, the well-being, health, money-wise, you need to understand. And the quicker you understand it, the quicker you can move forward. You have to understand that it's nothing to do what you know, nothing to do with the level of your education, nothing to do with how hard you try and how hard you work. It's literally nothing to do with that. It's all to do with your vibration. That's it. It's all about frequencies. It's all about the laws of the universe. It's all about the law of vibration and law of attraction as well. And there are 11 other laws that govern this universe, but the law of vibration is the primary law, and the law of attraction follows the law of vibration. So I just want you to see, if you want to live your life with the expanded awareness, with the awareness where you literally live your life in happiness, with peaceful mind, no matter what happens from the outside, even the economic crisis right now, I actually have clients who, in this economic crisis right now, they've actually expanded their businesses. Even though the business were falling out, even though the businesses, lots of businesses struggled, my clients, because of what they've learned in our mentorship program, my clients actually said, I know I'm in control. I'm in control. And they've started using the information they've studied with us, with me, and they've said to me, they texted me last year, and I remember my client texting me last year. She said, for the first time in my life, I felt in control, because I knew that I can change my life even though the circumstances, the economy was falling down. So this is so true. That doesn't matter what happens on the outside, doesn't matter what happens in the economy, doesn't matter who you're surrounded by and how people are behaving towards you. It's not up to you to control that, because sometimes we can't control what happens around us, but we definitely 100% can control how we respond to it, how you respond to the current crisis, how you respond to the current uncertainty. How do you respond to this? It will create your life. It will create your life. And if you don't know how you operate with your mind, the thoughts, the power of thoughts, with your subconscious mind, when it comes to your emotional mind, when it comes to vibration, the law of vibration and the frequencies you are on right now as we speak, a lot of people suffer these times when we see so much uncertainty, so much fear from all over the place. And if you cannot understand what it does to you, you will allow that to control you. And that's very important. What I want to highlight once again, and this is the one thought I want you to leave you with, that you can control your life. You can. You can. You have 100% control over your life, because only you can control your thoughts and your emotions. And you may say, well, no, it's not, because it comes at me. Believe me, when you study yourself, when you study this diagram, you study how you can shift your vibration, how you can shift your frequency. And this is exactly what we do in our mentorship program. You can control your life, because you attract to your life people, opportunities who are in harmony with you. So just to give you last example before we go right now, if you are living in that anger, if that fear, in shame and guilt, you're going to attract more people to you who are in harmony with you. So you're going to attract more people who live in anger, who live in fear, who live in guilt. That's why so many people have, for example, challenges with relationships, because they say, I attract the same type of people, the same type of people. They don't respect me. They don't love me. They don't care for me. But always what I say to my clients is, first, you have to shift your vibration. You have to respect yourself. You have to care for yourself. You have to love yourself. So then you shift your vibration, and then you start attracting different people who are in harmony with who you are, means how you vibrate right now. If you love yourself, if you respect yourself, if you accept yourself, if you take care of yourself, you're going to attract exactly the same people who would do it for themselves and you, because we cannot give something we don't have. So just because you attract those people, it's also because those people don't love themselves, respect themselves, or care for themselves. That's why they can't give you what you need. But you attract what you are. So it's so important. The most important two laws of the universe. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I just want to remind you of a couple of things. If this resonates with you, if this is something that speaks to your heart, and your heart tells you, oh my gosh, this is where I want to be. I want to be in control of my life. I really want to feel like I can create something, whatever I desire, rather than just trying harder and harder. It doesn't work. I highly encourage you to make a decision by Tuesday and either contact me for a one-on-one consultation so we can point you towards the right direction, or if you have now made a decision, this is it, and your heart tells you this is it, listen to your heart and join our mentorship program, because this is what you're going to be learning for the next 6 months, surrounded by like-minded people, surrounded by me, who's going to give you guidance, support, and clarity within the next 6 months. And like I said before, something we're doing only now is, if you're still unsure, or if you think you maybe had negative experiences when it comes to certain trainings in the past, only now I give you the chance to join us for 3 months, see how it works for you, and then you can decide to extend it if you see the results. I'm so confident you will, that I gave you that opportunity, but only when you decide to join us by Tuesday midnight. Okay, 3 months of a trial, see what happens, have the price, and then you'll decide what to happen, what to do after the 3 months. You can extend it. Okay, so it's very important to make that decision from your future self, from what your heart is telling you, rather from what your logic is telling you and what you are fearful of doing. It's very important. Okay, because like I said to you before, I've changed my life fairly quickly within a few months, where I quit my job, and I've not only become a business owner working with flexibility, but I've also met incredible people through my business. So sometimes when people ask me, what was the best thing that happened to you when you've opened your business, I could say there's lots of things that happened, not only the money and the independence and flexible hours, but I've met incredible people. I've met incredible people through as my clients, and they've attracted incredible people as well. And as you've seen yesterday, and we're going to continue today, um, every single guest of today's workshop has been my client, and we're still in touch with some of them. I'm actually working until today. So you just never know where that one decision can take you. You just never know. With some of my clients, I have other incredible stories that I might share with you another time. But once you make a decision and bet on yourself and go after what your heart truly desires, life starts to unfold. You give yourself a chance to live something that you want, to create something different, rather than being stuck in same old same. Because once again, I'm going to leave you with that one thought, that if you keep doing same old same, hoping for things to change, it's a definition of insanity. And if you're doing same old same, you're just going to create more of the same. That's exactly how it works. Okay, so really give yourself a chance, make a decision based on your future self, and make a decision with courage. And for those of you who are on that frequency of courage, which is 200 plus, I look forward to be working with you. And we can start as soon as this Monday. We have sessions every Monday and every Thursday. So thank you so much for being here with us today. Please do remember we have our last session today at 7 p.m. UK time. We're going to have few guest speakers and we'll talk about money, how to create financial freedom, what money really is, and we'll talk about your beliefs and habits when it comes to money. So this session will help you to understand what kind of beliefs might be sabotaging your success and what kind of habits might be sabotaging your financial success. So money topic and creating prosperous mindset when it comes to money will continue today at 7 p.m. UK time, and that's our last session of this phenomenal masterclass. So have a beautiful day today, and I look forward to be seeing you in about 6 hours. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later on. Take care.